All right, so online shoppers and MSMEs have been calling on the government for an increase in US $50 duty-free limit. If this increase is granted, how will it benefit shoppers and small businesses? And if it should remain, how will it hurt our international trade? Joining us via Zoom is President of the MSME Allowance, Donovan Wignall. Hi, morning, Donovan. Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Good morning, Dylan.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, Simone.
Hi, how are you doing, Donovan? Good to have you.
All right, Donovan, so let's start. An increase in the duty-free limit. Why? Why are we asking for an increase?
All right, so when you shop online and you buy a $50 item or 50 and under, when it reaches customs for examination, no duties should be charged on that particular item. So no duties, no customs administration fee. So you get that package basically just for the freight and what you paid for it.
Right.
When it goes over, no, and it's not Clive Coke, it's Donovan Wignall. When it goes over $50, you have to pay duties and GCT. Plus, you have to also pay $2,500 CAF. Now, a lot of people, and in some cases where you have more than one shipment on the manifest in your name, even though it's coming from different suppliers, customs will add those shipments together, add the total cost of those shipments together, and charge a duty anyway, even though individual shipments are under $50.
Are they supposed to do that, Donovan? And is there any recourse for that at all?
Well, as far as I know, they're not supposed to do it. Once a shipment, an area bill or a bill of lading designates a shipment. So once once that shipment, even though you're on the same manifest, is under $50, they shouldn't really do that. But I mean, you know, customs has discretion, and they sometimes use it selectively. So. That's something that's in discussion now. I know it's been discussed internally with the customs department, but I suppose the jury is still out on whether or not, you know, that part of those clearances are still in effect.
So one of the things that's being argued is that due to COVID-19, a lot of persons have now been shopping online, and some of them are essential items that they've had to get online, and so they're asking for an increase to $100. Is that so?
Yes, definitely. I think with people unable to travel, people not able to travel, so the $500 that they would get, $500 allowance that would get, of course, is doesn't really come into play because so a lot of people have no resort to shopping online at the various places, Amazon, Fashion Nova, Walmart, every single store, every single brick and mortar store in the US now, most of them are now moving to, or have been able to facilitate e-commerce purchasing. So a great number of shoppers now are online shopping, and it is a harrowing experience when your goods come to customs and you are now asked to pay these huge customs duties and the fee. So compensatory for the lack of ability to travel, it would be a good move on the part of customs to increase the de minimis value from $50 to $100. That would facilitate a lot of people.
And you think 100 is where we ought to be?
Well, it's a give and take. I think customs, I'm being the devil's advocate here, the customs department is foregoing revenue when they increase it to 100. If you go above that, then they'll be foregoing more revenue. And you know, our Minister of Finance is very frugal where those things are concerned. So therefore, I think $100 is a reasonable level to put it, and that will compensate for the movement in the rate of exchange and inflation locally. So I think it's the sweet spot now for de minimis.
Yeah. Do you see it happening, Donovan? Because right now, customs is making a lot of money, but with other areas of the economy suffering, maybe the minister will tell you that there's nothing we can do in that area at that time because that income is so critical to our revenues.
Absolutely, and I empathize with the minister, but I also empathize with the shopping and importing public. We're unable to travel, and as I said before, it's a matter of give and take. The customs department not doing badly, to be honest with you. Revenues are down all across the board, public sector and private sector, and we get the burden a little bit across the board. So going to $100 is a nice way of helping out the purchasing public. It's not too impacting our local businesses. Our local businesses have pivoted to online shopping as well. But it's a nice place to be. $100, a lot more people will be able to afford to shop online. A lot of courier companies, myself, have gone into the business of e-commerce courier service, my company, Parasapost. And we have seen a lot of customers screaming about the over $100 charges and the consolidating of shipments that are on the same manifest. And actually, some people have even resorted to abandon their shipments.
Wow.
Can't clear it.
Because
Right, and
I'm reading of one lady who said she ordered 2 pair of shoes, and she was charged $80. Well, one bill cumulatively, and ended up paying twice the value of the shoes in duty. So I guess it makes sense to leave it, right? But then she loses that money that she would have paid for the. But look, we're looking at least 800,000 Jamaicans who've turned to online shopping. Donovan, you say you bring packages in.
Yes.
Do you think there ought to be some kind of allowance made for the MSMEs as opposed to maybe an individual casual shopper?
Well, individual casual shopper versus MSME. MSMEs are business. Customs treat those shipments differently. A commercial shipment and a personal shipment are treated differently with the customs department. Even your under 50 shipment, if it's commercial, then customs reserve the right to treat it as a commercial shipment. That is by way of charging the duties. And there's a lot of discretion, as I said, that is built in how the customs treat it. But definitely for MSMEs, I think, yes, it would be a good thing to provide some allowance for MSME clearances. So even with the increase in de minimis value and how it is treated when the goods arrive at customs, could be a benefit that the government could give to MSMEs, where their shipments, even though they are deemed commercial shipments, can be treated in a similar manner to personal shipments. But as I said before, it's a discretionary, in that area, it's treated as discretionary by the customs department, and very often they do give the allowance of de minimis for the commercial shipments. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but it would be good if it just becomes a rule where your costs are predictable. You know exactly how much you're going to pay, and it's not left up to the discretion of the customs.
Yeah, that's a challenge. But I'm going to play, well, not the devil's advocate. I don't like the term. I'm going to play customs advocate. So we raise it to $100 now on the premise that people aren't able to travel and so on. What happens when people are now able to travel? Do we lower it back to the $50?
Absolutely not. You leave it there. Simply because it's something that has been on the cards for a long time. I know the Couriers Association, I think we're about 2 or 3 or 4 years old now. And this particular nuance of the shipping industry has been on the books, on the lobby page for a very long time. So it's something that I think is overdue. So I wouldn't advocate that we return to the $50 because $100 I think is more than reasonable for de minimis. So I think we can probably look at other countries and look at the example. I think it's $100 internationally. I hope I'm not wrong where that is concerned. So $100 here is reasonable based on the length of time it has been at 50, and the fact that we have had movements in the exchange rate which have eroded the advantage of remaining at 50 for a very long time now. So in my opinion, I think it's the opinion of the industry, MSMEs and courier companies alike, that the $50 right now should be raised to $100 to be, at a reasonable point. I think that is a sweet spot, as I said before. Leave it at $100.
All right, Donovan. Okay.
All right. Thank you for weighing in. Appreciate that.
No.
We'll see what happens because this discussion has been happening, as Donovan said, for a little while now. So we'll see what 2021 brings. Donovan Wignall, president of the MSME Allowance. Coming up next, Jamaican aviator pioneer putting her wings to rest. We'll be right back.